Hello, kindergartners. It is time for our last 4 pages of our math workbook. Would you please take out your math workbook and getting out a pencil and your purple punctuation or purple math symbol, marker, or crayon so that we're ready to go to finish those last 4 pages. Okay. And when you have done that, when you have all your supplies ready, would you please turn to page 34 in your math workbooks. Looks like this. It looks very similar to what we've been doing, right? Same thing, looks like what we were doing with addition, what we've been doing on the previous math pages. We've had sets of pictures that we had to find the numbers to put into our subtraction equation or word problem or math problem, And yesterday I had you end by finishing these 2 equations, writing out our equation and figuring out how many more milk or how many more cartons than there are bottles of milk, and then how many more sneakers than there are socks. So you finished up that page. That means we're ready for practicing writing some more equations or measure or number sentences. Okay, so when we look at this page, it's the pictures are a little bit different because before our pictures were in a line and we needed to think of the difference. So how many more, I'm just gonna turn this, how many more we had left. Now we're going to be thinking there are blank more. So same thing, but the pictures are in a different order. They're not in a line. So we need to write out the total number of in this picture, the total number of notebooks, subtract the total number of, what do we need to take away? Right, the total number of pencils. So let's think about this. What is the total number of notebooks that we are seeing? Right, let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notebooks. We need to write this number in the first square. Can you please write with your pencil the number 5 in our first square? Because we can see our group of 5 is first. So 5. And then we have already our subtraction symbol. If you would like, you could go over it with your purple marker or crayon if you want to. And then our next box, we need to write the total number of pencils. And we said that's how many? 2, right. Our equation is going to look like 5 minus 2 equals, So let's figure it out. First, we have to write down 2. We figured out 5 notebooks minus 2 pencils is going to tell us how many more notebooks there are than pencils. So now let's do it on our fingers, the fingers way. So we have 5 minus 2. So we go 5, put up your hands and do it with me. 5, 4, I did that wrong. 5 we have to start out with. Now we need to subtract 2. 1, 2. How many are left? 3, right. 1, 2, 3. So we have 5 in total and we need to subtract 2. 1, 2. And there are 3 left over. So there are 3 more notebooks than there are pencils. You could also, if this helps you, like how we were doing before with the matching and we could see on this page, we were having that, circling the leftover or seeing how many more. If it helps, you could also draw a line. I'll do it with my pencil. or with my marker. You could also draw a line like this and find those pairs. So you can make 2 pairs. And we connected those two to those 2 notebooks, the 2 pencils to 2 notebooks. And then we can see how many don't have connections, have connecting lines. 1, 2, 3. If that helps you to have that image in your head to see, then go for it. Draw a line and find those pairs so you can see how many are left. Then we could circle like we did on the other page. There are 3 left, right? So our answer is 3. Would you please write 3 in the last square? And that means down here there are blank more notebooks. What will we need to write in here? Right, there are 3 more notebooks. 3. Okay, next one, same thing. We are finding out our first picture is of tennis rackets. So we need to first count out our total amount of tennis rackets. So with your pencils, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what number needs to go right here? 6, right? The total number of rackets, of tennis rackets. 6 minus, what do we need here? Right, the total number of tennis balls. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very nice. Sorry, I had something pop up on my screen. Okay, so 4 tennis balls. So what do we need to write here? 4, right, 4. So 6 minus 4 equals, finding that difference because we're trying to figure out there are blank more tennis rackets. So let's do our matching strategy again, finding those pairs to see how many are left. So I'm going to draw a line to this racket. I'm going to draw a line to this racket. I'm going to draw a line to this racket. And then I'm going to draw a line to this racket. How many don't have lines touching them? Do you see? It'd be easier if I circle it. Circling those circling those that do not have a line to it. How many do we have left? Right, 2. Let's do it with our hands now. So we're doing 6 subtract 4. Okay, so we have our 6. Show me your 6 fingers. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are left? 1, 2. So we could use our fingers. These are just different strategies or different ways that you can use to solve this problem. So we figured out with this strategy and with our fingers that 6 minus 4 equals 2. Right. Writing in 2 in our last square. And that means that there are how many more tennis rackets than tennis balls? Right, 2. Could you please write the number 2 in that last square on the bottom? Okay, that means we're ready for this page. I'm going to do this one with you, but I'm not going to show you till the end. So I want you to do this one on your own. I'm going to do it at the same time, and then we'll compare answers, okay? So thinking first picture first, writing the total, and then you can use either of our strategies or a strategy that works for you to figure out the answer. Okay, go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to do the same thing. I think I'm going to do my line strategy. Doing my line strategy, remembering to write in the total mushrooms, subtracting the total carrots. Finding those numbers. Of course, we know first, total mushrooms. Second, total carrots. And then third, using one of those strategies or a strategy that works for you. Okay, if you need an extra second, go ahead and pause the video. I am going to show my answers in 3, 2, 1. Is that what you also got? Yeah, I used my line strategy again, and I found those pairs and realized there was this many left over. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I put my answer here, and that meant there are 5 more mushrooms than there are carrots. Okay, now I want you to do the same thing on this page. I'm going to let you do that one on your own. You can pause the video now and do that, or you can do it at the end. But we're ready for our last 2 pages. Okay, on page 36, we are matching the math or the subtraction equation or the number sentence with the difference or the what is left over. So finding the answer, matching the answer with the equation. If you would like, you could draw a picture underneath to do kind of like what we were doing with the if that helps you to do that strategy that we were doing with the pictures where you're finding the matches. You could do something like drawing 3 dots and then drawing 1 underneath. So we see 3, we see 1, 2, 3. It's our first number. Our next is the 1. We just put a 1 underneath. We can see how many are left over. How many are left over? 3 minus 1 equals 2, right? So you can do that underneath if that helped you. I'm a visual learner. I like to see pictures and I like to see how it's working on paper. And if that works for you, go ahead and use that strategy. If it works for you to use your fingers and think 3, subtract 1, 3 subtract 1, how many are left? 2. So we need to put a line from 3 minus 1 to, what's our answer? 2, right. 3 minus 1. I'm putting a line down to my 2. Excuse me. Our next one, do the same thing if you would like. 2 dots, 1 underneath to show 2. You see the 2. 1 here. I got my 1 dot. How many is left over? You see that pair. And then how many's left over? Right, 1. 1's left over. So if we do it with our fingers, we have 2 minus 1 equals, right, 1 is our answer. 1 is what is left over. What is left? Where do you see? Point on your paper or on mine on the screen. Where is the answer on the column on this side here? Where's the answer? Right, right across. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Very nice. Okay. You do the next one on your own. 4 minus 3. I'm going to do it too, and we'll compare answers. Okay, you do the next one on your own. I'm going to use my dots method that I showed you. Figuring out if you need to use your fingers for that. Go ahead, use whatever strategy works for you. Okay, if you need to pause, take pause for a second, but I'm going to show you my answer in 3. Oops, I didn't draw my line. I'm going to show you my answer in 3, 2, 1. Did you also get 1? Right. I did my dots. I had the 4. I did my 4 dots. 3. I did my 3 dots, and I saw how many is left over. I didn't do my finger method because I didn't want you to see my answer yet. But I also figured out 1 is the correct answer. Okay, I would like you to complete the next 3 on your own. If you need to pause the video now, if you want to do it now, or you can do it afterward. We're on to our last page. It's the same exact thing, except the answer isn't on the page. So we're just going to do the same thing. You can draw out, if you want to do it how I did, drawing out the dots, if that helps you. Or you can use your fingers. It's the same exact thing. Let's do this one together with our hands. So 5 minus 4. So everyone show me 5 fingers. And then let's subtract 4 fingers. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do we have left over? 1. Right. 1 is left over. So we need to write the number 1 in that blank spot right there to show we finished the problem. We know the answer is 1. Okay, I know you can complete these next 3 on your own. You've got plenty to look at if you need a reminder, but you can use your fingers, you can use my dot method, you can use whatever works, just completing these. So going back through our book, we had a couple of things that I wanted you to complete on your own. The first was on this page, doing the fish problem or the fish equation on your own, finishing these 3 on your own, connecting, finding the answer, and then finishing these 3 on your own. And then we have finished our math workbook. Nice work, everyone. Air high five. Ready? Nice work. Okay, we're all done with our math workbook. And we even got a little bit of practice before we start math workbook, or before we start our subtraction next week. Okay, everyone, I will see you. I believe this is my last video, maybe not in the sequence, but this is my last video for tonight that I have to do. So goodbye and have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.